2, 1.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to KSAT News Now. This is our bite-sized newscast that you can stream in many ways. And we also have the KSAT News Now weekday podcast that you could get as well. So we got you in the ears, we got your sight, all taking care of all the senses there.
And we want to thank those who have downloaded the podcast.
Yes.
That's
Of course,
exciting
that's
to
important.
see those numbers. So thank you for everyone tuning in. So make sure to subscribe to that, as well as we're asking people right off the top, what's your go-to spot that you would take an out-of-town guest to? And this is all because Patty.
This is something that Patty Mills did the other day during his recent game here in San Antonio. So he took a couple of his Nets teammates out. We'll show you that story here in just a bit. Do you want to share yours at the moment, or you want to wait till we get to the story?
No, I'll get them talking.
Okay.
Oh, I'll share mine. I was thinking about it, and honestly, my go-to is, you won't be surprised after I say it, Taquitos West Avenue.
Oh, okay.
You gotta let them know,
Nice.
like the actual taco spots, Mexican tacos.
And of course, that's always a big debate, you know, like San Antonio tacos has got the best ones. Okay,
Been there, done that.
Mine is like taking them to like a brewery or something like that. Local, like a little brewery tour.
Priorities.
Yes.
All right.
Kunstler, Alamo, Black Lab, some pretty good like breweries here. So that's where usually out-of-town peeps gets a little fun and games going there. So yeah, that would be kind of my thing.
So we'll go through those comments. Sarah has an answer.
I like Naco tacos.
Yes.
Naco tacos, and they've got like so many good things too. Not just tacos, they've got chilaquiles, they've got lots of stuff.
They have everything. I actually had their chicken fideo on Sunday. So good.
Yes.
And they have their new restaurant. Haven't been, but I hear the whole menu is amazing. So that's a good one to check out.
Yeah, definitely. So we have some other stuff to get to this morning, Alicia. So we're going to be discussing some emails over the UTSA Come and Take It controversy. And we got a lot of emails there to talk about. Also, American Airlines cutting flights in San Antonio.
And a possible COVID-19 vaccine for the Omicron variant. You'll want to hear more about that. And of course, weather. That's coming up in a bit, but first, our top story.
That's right. Tensions increasing this morning in Ukraine, and now the U.S. is putting troops on high alert out of fears of Russia invading its neighboring country.
Well, a total of 8,500 troops are on heightened alert now for possible deployment to Eastern Europe. That's according to the Pentagon. And while this is the latest step to increased readiness abroad, still no final decision has been made.
If deployed, the troops wouldn't go to Ukraine. They'd be headed to the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO territory in Eastern Europe, as part of the NATO response force, which is made up of about 40,000 multinational troops.
So what's the goal here with this move? Well, the U.S. wants to help prevent any Russian aggression, invasion. Meanwhile, Russia has denied any plans for an invasion. However, there are reports of thousands of Russian troops near Ukraine's border.
Yeah, this has been an ongoing thing there. The conflict between Russia and Ukraine is based on several demands from Russia. They don't want Ukraine to ever enter NATO, and they don't want NATO to expand as well. So as we've been saying, this has been kind of an ongoing thing there along those borders, and it'll be interesting to see the U.S.'s involvement as we kind of move forward here.
Yeah, to see their, unity with their allies there. Well, more hurdles at the airport, and if you fly with American Airlines, brace for impact. American Airlines has cut thousands of domestic flights, including a whopping 33 at the San Antonio airport.
Yeah, it seems like we're getting less opportunities to fly direct, or there's just all sorts of different ways that you have to now navigate through the airport. But it actually gets worse. Alicia, they've entirely eliminated more than 10,000 flights scheduled for all of March, all to better align its resources with travel demand.
And we know March is a big traveling time, spring break. Students are off, parents try to take some time off, so be sure to check your flights. The cuts, of course, are the latest example of the effects of the pandemic. You'll remember 77,000 American Airlines flights were eliminated from its January and February schedules. But here's the interesting fact. Although they cut, more than 10,000 for March, there are still more flights scheduled for American Airlines in March than last year.
Yeah, It does. I think it's interesting because, of course, the pandemic last year kind of put their whole business upside down. It threw schedules completely off. I've noticed anytime I've gone to book flights that we usually would be able to take direct out of San Antonio, now we usually fly out of Austin or have to figure out like some sort of alternative flight plan. So definitely a lot of changes over the past couple years.
Their statement was very broad, but they mentioned something about better connectivity. So you're going to have more of the connecting flights instead of the direct flights. That's probably the biggest change you'll notice.
Yeah, a lot of changes that we've seen over the past couple of years. All right, so a new COVID-19 vaccine, this is pretty interesting, Alicia, is now in the works, but this time specifically for the Omicron variant.
A new clinical trial is being led by Pfizer and BioNTech. 1,400 adults ages 18 to 55 are participating in the study. Some patients, they'll be getting the vaccine as both a primary dose and a booster dose. And the companies will study, of course, the safety, tolerability, and level of immune response.
It's very interesting. Pfizer says this new study won't affect this year's plan to produce 4 billion doses of the original vaccine. And if you're already boosted, Pfizer says you have a high level of protection against Omicron. Always some new things in the works.
Which I'm sure they'll clarify as this moves forward, but I'm guessing if you already have the original dose, you wouldn't need to get this vaccine for the Omicron variant.
Yeah, that would seem to make sense. But again, you're always kind of thinking about like these extra layers of protection that you have to get. I mean, as we find out more variants and things of that nature, then it'll be interesting to see like what they come up with to kind of battle these different strains. This Omicron one, I think, caught everyone sort of by surprise. It seemed like things were kind of going back to normal.
It kind of comes and gets you. All right, so closer to home, UTSA, definitely not wearing, let me just address, not wearing blue and orange today for them, channeling more Broncos colors, even though I'm not a fan of them either.
Well, yeah, that does match the Broncos, the old Broncos colors for sure. And yeah, this is just a coincidence here, but this is a story that we just posted earlier this morning. So after months of requests from the university, we are finally seeing some of the backlash and support this morning from UTSA's controversial decision to remove the "Come and Take It" slogan from games and athletic events.
So that decision was made months ago. We reported it here. President Amy said in September they would no longer use the slogan, and emails we just obtained show some people supported the move, but many were against it. And actually, doesn't surprise, we saw those reactions on Twitter as well.
Yeah, and again, there were some that supported the president's decision, but the majority said that they were against removing the slogan "Come and Take It," referring to the move as, quote, cowardly and, quote, surrendering to cancel culture.
Other emailers used explicit language and references to race and social justice initiatives in their email messages. Emailers range from UTSA donors, alumni, staff, and even bank executives.
So as we just said, this decision was made in September. It was about a month after they opened their new athletics facility.
Yeah,
which is a great facility, and it's supposed to really help UTSA athletics, but they had the big sign like right when you walked into the front lobby.
It was a focal point.
It was like you said. I mean, exactly that, and they wanted people to like share, Instagram, that sort of thing. Well, they quickly got an online petition started, some professors there to try and get the slogan removed, and the president just decided to take it upon himself just to remove it. So again, this happened all the way back in September, but we just got the emails a couple of weeks ago. So that's why we published the story this morning. And
it wasn't just the slogan that the university wanted to remove from that athletic facility, but also we remember from the t-shirts. I mean, this is something that's been, ingrained as part of the UTSA culture. So it is expected that this, there's a lot of controversy surrounding it. So we'll keep you updated on that.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So I think I'm going to do something later on for 5 and 6 with that story as well. So again, all right. So switching gears a little bit here. So Patty Mills, Alicia, is just my guy here is doing the most. This is why he's also known in my mind as Patty Thrills.
You and these names.
I know, right? Always come up with these random nicknames. The Brooklyn Nets player was in town over the weekend to play against his old squad, the Spurs, and took some time out of his trip. You can see right there some photos to take the new squad to some popular food spots.
Boys who brunch, they tweeted.
You like that?
Patty took members of the Nets, including James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Blake Griffin, and coach Steve Nash.
Yeah, to Scorpion. Have you been to Scorpion?
No.
You've never been to Scorpion?
I honestly don't get out much these days.
Yeah, so he took him to Scorpion for a little brunch action, and let's go ahead and hear a little bit more from Patty on that trip.
As we're on a journey, obviously, to try and win a championship, and I think things like this, of being able to get together off the court, help really connect to little things on the court.
Yeah, all right. What'd you think of that, Alicia? Good stuff?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, food, Boise brunch.
There you go, yeah. So check this out. So Sarah mentioned this a little bit earlier. So they got food here sent to them or delivered to them from Extra Fine, and I've never been to
Oh, so they didn't actually go to the restaurant?
They went to the restaurant, but I think he rented out the spot. Like he sort of reserved the spot. Yeah, because I guess
Patty Mills, I'd rent out the spot too.
So they got some grub from Sing's, the Churro Cart, awesome name there of that place, and Naco Mexican Eatery. So Naco was up.
Yeah, Naco is killing it.
They are, definitely. And Patty Mills has always been a team guy and is all about bonding with the broskies. So
That is awesome.
Patty's doing some good stuff here.
I think that could be a hashtag that trends.
Bonding
Boys Who
with the
Brunch.
Boys
Yeah,
Who,
Ladies
I
Who
think
Lunch
it
has
is.
been on that.
Boys Who Brunch, Ladies Who Lunch, and then if we all go out together, we can do it all at the same time.
There we go.
We need a hashtag for that.
Yeah, we do, definitely. Sarah, do you have a go-to spot when you bring out-of-town guests or friends?
You know, I love Kunstler Brewery, like you were saying earlier. It's phenomenal because you get the German side of our heritage there. And then Naco is amazing. I do love Naco. I'm a Naco cheerleader.
Aren't we all? Yes. They have some good eats there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they've done some big things.
You know what I'd really like though?
Ooh, okay.
Rain.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Guess that one right there.
No,
I thought you were going to say like warmer temperatures.
I actually kind of like the cool.
Yeah, this is nice. It's
Not gonna lie.
It's not like unbearable.
Yeah, it's true. It's not too cold. Sweater weather, exactly. Yeah, this is how much rain we've seen since November 1st. Just a little bit more than 2¼ inches of rainfall, which may seem like a decent amount, but when you compare it to average, we're actually more than 3 inches below average when it comes to rain. And drought is back in a big way around South Central Texas. So we've got some moderate drought moving into Bexar County. Drought monitor is updated every Thursday as an FYI. And then as you can see, extreme drought for part of our viewing area toward the south, toward Cotulla, Carrizo Springs. So we could use some rain, but we're just not going to get any rain over the next several days. It's not in the cards. But today will be a nice day though. We'll have a good mixture of sun and clouds with a high temperature near 60 degrees. So a nice day for us at least. And then this weekend, we have not had really nice weather over the weekends, over the last few weekends. We've had cold, we've had, some dreary conditions, but this weekend looks great. Sunny and beautiful with high temperatures in the 60s, RJ and Alicia. So even though we're not getting the rain, at least we're getting the nice weather, guys.
Days like that always surprise me because you start in the 30s and these are the days where you really have to layer up.
Exactly.
Because that sun, makes it obviously
multiple sweater weather. How does that sound?
That sounds great. So I'm with you guys. I like the cold a little bit more, but at least it's not unbearably cold. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's good stuff there. Okay, so we're about to wrap things up, but we asked this question, our social media question of the day, Alicia. What are your favorite spots? Where would you like to take people from out of town? So we've had a few people responding on Instagram. Want to get your reaction to these. El Remedio.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
El Remedio. They've expanded their menu, I believe. I know they have more locations, but they're known for their birria tacos.
Yeah,
so
definitely. Yeah, great
those are
spot there.
good.
Yeah, the great spot there. Pollos Asados on Rigsby. Have you been there?
I don't know if I've been to the Rigsby location.
Okay.
But I have had pollos asados.
Yeah,
it's good.
These are all spots that I'm like, okay, I need to mark these
Write
down
it
here.
down.
One person here just says the Pearl.
And it's a safe bet. It's beautiful to walk around in. You can get your drinks, dessert, which is always huge for me. Have you had Bakery Lorraine's Pop-Tart?
I've been to Bakery Lorraine's, never had the Pop-Tart.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
See,
here
even
we
just
go.
a trip to the Pearl for the Pop-Tart.
This is good stuff here. One person here says, this is Lee. She says, for brunch, Liberty Bar.
Liberty Bar. Oh yeah, I haven't been there I used to be.
Oh, not anymore.
No, I stick to my OG, which is NOLA over off St. Mary's.
Okay.
They're really good. But Liberty Bar is great.
Yeah, definitely. So we appreciate everyone who was able to chime in this morning on Instagram and share some of these responses. Someone said the zoo.
The zoo.
Like, hey, you know what? You can't go wrong. Fredericksburg, another answer here.
But it's just to take someone to go see.
Yeah,
okay. I thought it was just food spots. Oh, in that case, yeah, for sure, the Pearl.
There we go. Okay, so wanted to also mention real quick the River Walk. We're in the midst of it draining right now, and you can find more information there on KSAT.com. I know Max Massey was covering that story this morning.
And so if you're just listening to that headline, I mean, they're draining. It's draining right now. They are draining it. This is a common process that takes place every so often, every few years, and it's just to clean it out. And what I was mentioning off camera earlier, this is really important specifically when you talk about species that shouldn't be in there.
Yes.
So the San Antonio River Authority
species.
always post about this. So one of the things that hopefully they'll be able to get more out of there are those yucky apple snails.
Yes.
And the eggs that they leave, it literally looks like chewed bubblegum slapped on the side of the river. It's so gross.
All right. Well, I think we're going to leave it at that.
That way people are more educated and they know, what's happening.
Definitely. Thank you very much for being with us on KSAT News Now. We really appreciate everyone that was able to chime in on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live, as well as KSAT.com. So we will see you tomorrow at 11 a.m.
Have a good day.